Once upon a time, there was something called the
Standing
American
alone
dream.
under the vast.
And
It
here
was
we
simple.
see the
You
diligent
get a
office
job,
worker
you save some paper
tirelessly stacking the
rectangles,
saved.
and you
That's
buy a
it!
house
My
with a
future
white picket
home,
fence
right
and a
here,
backyard big enough
complete with
for
a
a
white picket fence.
golden retriever to catch a frisbee.
Back
In
in
1970, the average house
cost of a
about
new home like this one
$24,000.
was only 20. He
That was
calculates the
roughly
payroll
twice
with glee,
the average
but the
annual
staff
salary.
aren't seeing any. You look
If you
back at
worked hard
everything you've done,
and didn't spend
all
all
the
your money
hours
on
spent
disco
organizing
records,
these files.
you could own a piece
My
of the earth
land.
before your 35th birthday.
Third,
Fast
So
forward
here
to
we are,
2026.
2026.
In
The
this
white
quiet
picket fence
neighborhood,
is still there,
the Stickman.
but it's now a digital render
This
in a
is
luxury
it.
reel.
This is
estate
the one I've
brochure
been
for an
looking
apartment.
for.
And
Complex
here we
you'll
are at
never
the
be able to
luxury
afford.
boutique. We
The
decided
golden
to put
retriever
this
has
succulent
been
right where he
replaced
used
by
to
a
sit.
succulent plant
It's a
because
reminder that even
Moving
Landlord
is the
doesn't allow
absolute
pets.
worst.
And the American dream has been officially rebranded as a premium subscription service.
And
The
just
math
like
has
that,
moved from
the
difficult to
multivariable calculus
statistically
problem,
Behind
Impossible
the levitating figure
today.
lies an
the average home prices in the
is
area
a
were
number that looks like
staggering.
a phone area
What's
code,
worse,
while your salary has grown at the speed of a tired snail. To buy
when the
that
cost
same
of
house
housing
today,
is this
you'd
high,
need to stop
there's
eating,
nothing
stop
left
breathing,
for the dinner table.
and somehow
As you can
convince
see
your
from this
boss
chart,
to pay
the
you
purchasing
in
power in the
1970s
1970s
purchasing power.
vastly outweighed.
But
All
here's
right,
the
stay
secret
low.
the
Don't
real
make a
estate
sound.
gurus
If they
don't
hear
want you
you,
to know.
it's all over.
The house
Just
didn't actually get more expensive.
My
Your
money
money
value
just
is
got
dropping
weaker.
fast.
And the people at the top decided that ownership is a luxury you no longer deserve. See,
In the heart
old
of the
world,
ancient market, I
a house
swear
was a
these
place
socks
where you put your
multiply when
socks
I'm
and
not
raised your
looking.
kids.
As
It
the
was a
subject
shelter.
moves through
But in the rent-for-life economy, a house is no longer a shelter.
An
It is
asset
an
class is a
asset class.
categorization of
It is a
investment.
line item
Looking
on a
at our
hedge fund's
balance sheet,
balance
key
sheet.
examples include.
It is
Okay,
a
so this is a
debt-collateralized
debt-collateralized financial
that
instrument.
happens
I
to
don't
have
get
a
it.
kitchen and a bathroom.
Also, why is there
We've moved from a society of owners to a society of users. You don't own your
software?
you
You
rent
rent
it
it
from
from Adobe.
You don't own your music, you stream it from Spotify. And now, the final boss of the subscription economy has arrived, your roof. The system realized that if you own your home, you have equity.
What
And
are these
equity
doing
is
here?
dangerous.
This
Equity
is how
means
I
you have a
see
stake
my
in the world.
contribution to the world. What
It
happens
means
when the
you have
market
a
crashes?
get-out-of-jail-free
Simple.
card
The
for when
hidden
the
economic
economy
safety net
crashes.
activates.
But if you rent
I
your
wonder
home,
how many watch as he
you are a
effortlessly
perpetual revenue
glides through the
stream.
office.
You are a
Automatically
human
save 30% of your
that
paycheck
dispenses
by
30%
setting up
of
a
your
direct
paycheck
deposit to
directly
your
into
savings account. And
a
just
corporate
like
bank
that,
account
every
30 days
days, a new
until you
corporate
die.
bank account is.
The
And
white
so the
picket
old
fence
man
isn't a
left
goal
the
anymore.
neighborhood behind.
It's
I
a
really
band.
hope this works. Still
And as
no
you
new
refresh your
houses.
Zillow app for the
Refresh
10th time
the
today.
10th time.
Looking at a fixer-upper that costs $500,000 and features a hole in the roof.
It was
You
the
start to
same
realize
hallway
the
I'd
truth.
walked 1,000. I
You aren't
wasn't
looking
looking
for a
for a home.
You're looking for a miracle.
Moving into the
Welcome
new
to the
apartment
era
was a
of the
huge
permanent
step.
renter.
Don't
Don't
let
worry
old
about the
barriers
fence.
stop you.
You wouldn't have time to paint it anyway. You'll be too busy working 3 jobs just to pay for the right to stand on someone else's carpet. So who is outbidding you? You might think it's another young couple
look!
who just happened
Is
to
this place
inherit a
abandoned?
small
So I
fortune
got
from
this
a mysterious
package, right.
uncle, but it isn't.
But when I opened it, how
Your
are they beating
competition
us on
doesn't
market
have a
share?
face. It doesn't have a soul. And it definitely doesn't care about the charming breakfast nook or the good school district.
These
Your
algorithms
competition
threaten the
is
entire
a
company valuation.
multi-billion-dollar
But adapting
algorithm
them will
sitting
cost billions.
in a
They said the
server room in
servers were
Manhattan.
humming, but
welcome
The
to
key
the
is
era
leveraging
of
these new zoning
institutional
laws for
landlords.
sustainable
Over the last
Walking
decade,
through the city,
giant hedge
And
funds and
just
private
like that,
equity firms,
BlackRock and Blackstone
names
are
like
acquiring
BlackRock,
everything
Blackstone,
in sight.
and
Vanguard decided
Vanguard
to invest in
realized that
single-family
buying
homes
single-family
instead of the
homes
market,
is a
while
better bet
considering
than them.
various real. He
Stock
examined the
market,
downturn
why?
closely.
Because
Wait,
people
why
can
am I
stop
buying
buying
this again?
iPhones.
I already have
no
And
more
they can stop
movies
going to
out.
the movies. But they can never stop needing a place to sleep without being arrested for loitering. Housing
Home
has
prices
been
are up
financialized.
12%.
but an elegantly
a
dressed
fancy
gentleman
way of
walks
saying
through a
that
luxurious Parisian.
Neighborhood has been turned into a giant slot machine for Wall Street. When a house goes on the market
$400,000?
for
That seems a bit
$400,000,
steep.
you
Armed
show
with a
up with your
pre-approval letter, he
and a
approaches
dream.
the real estate.
We're
The
giving
hedge
you an
fund
all-cash
shows up with an
offer for
all-cash
Joe's
offer.
Deli. Sign the
20% above asking price and zero contingencies.
ZERO
They
No
don't need an
inspection
inspection.
needed.
They don't care if the basement leaks. To them, the house isn't
The
a building.
potential return on investment here
yield-generating
is
asset.
significant.
Look at
They are
that graph
essentially
move.
farming the middle class.
Perfect. He
They
bought up
buy the
all the
supply,
supply of
which
product
drives up
X,
the price.
causing the price
Struggling
Which
to
makes it
purchase an
impossible
apartment
for
in
you
the
to
city
buy,
center
which
proved
forces you to rent
impossible.
from.
Ultimately,
You guessed it,
I'm
them.
gonna go out on
By simply
the
pushing
perfect
this
closed
button,
loop
the
system of
extraction
extraction.
begins. In an
They've
unnamed
turned the
city's
primary
bustling
tool
financial
for
district,
building
they've
middle-class
silently
wealth into a
transformed the
vacuum.
stock market in
While the
Cleaner that
community
sucks
struggles,
money out of your
our
local
friend here
community
is
and
thriving,
deposits it
proving
into
that trickle-down.
simply
a Cayman
sign right
Islands
here
bank account.
and welcome to the
In a
And don't
city this
expect the
crowded,
government to
you'd
save
think
you.
you'd feel anonymous.
In many
tax
cases,
incentives mean
the tax laws
significantly
are
higher
actually
profits for
designed to
large
help these
corporations
giant
like
firms.
ours.
Exactly. Look at
They
these
get
depreciation write-offs.
write-offs, and tax
We're
breaks
getting
that you,
huge tax.
as a mere
I've
mortal
been
who
walking
just wants a
for
place to
hours.
put a couch, will never see.
And just
playing
like
a game
that,
of
the
Monopoly,
game begins.
where one player starts with
But
all
wait,
the hotels.
it seems player.
So
And
you're
the
walking
bank.
downtown, less than
And you start
99.
with a $10 bill
Currency
and
holds
a
temporary
get-out-of-jail-free
value.
card
A
that's
get out of jail.
already been used.
An unknown
wait, it
national
gets
walks
better.
into a bakery. The firm
These
conducts
firms
a
don't just
detailed
want your
energy
rent.
audit,
They want
analyzing the
efficiency.
machinery data.
That means
Our
automated
streamlined
landlording.
automated system.
You won't have a friendly guy named Bob to call when your sink explodes. You'll have an AI chatbot that tells you to refer to Section 14B of your
This
digital
contract
lease
makes no
while your
sense.
kitchen turns
And
into a
now the
swimming
kitchen
pool.
is flooding.
We
They've
must treat these
realized that the
properties
most
as
profitable way
investments.
to manage
Exactly.
a house is to
Maximize
treat
the
it
return.
You browse the
exactly
marketplace,
like a
see
Netflix
something you like
subscription.
Flicks or something.
Low
Effortless
maintenance,
green
high
thumb.
volume.
The
And a
deadline is
price that
almost here,
increases
and the
by
price is now
10% every time your
250,000.
contract nears its end.
I can't.
They aren't building communities. They are building a housing as a service
This
platform
is where the
where you
innovation
are the
happens.
product being sold
By
to their
integrating
investors.
this technology,
So I'm
As you
walking
walk
down the
through a
street,
suburb
and it's
where
plaque
every
after
third
plaque.
house is owned
Mega
by a
Global
corporation.
Holdings.
I have
You aren't
never
looking
seen
at a neighborhood
skyscrapers
anymore.
this tall.
вот
You're
как
looking at a
выглядит
corporate
эффективность.
plantation.
Бесконечно.
The grass is green, the sun is shining, but if you listen closely,
And
you
just
can hear
like
the
that,
sound of
30% of their
everyone's
income
income
vanished
leaving
into
the
the
town.
vault.
And
At
just
the
like
speed
that,
of light,
he was
But the
as
door,
the reality
door
sets in
alone,
that you'll never own a front
lost
door,
forever.
the market starts
PST,
offering you
this way.
solutions.
Unlock saving. Too much.
But in the
How
rent-for-life
long?
economy,
And just like
solution
that,
is
we
just
combined
another word
NFC,
for a new way to
QR,
pay.
and voice. Live
enter
smarter,
the world of
own
co-living
less,
and
experience
fractional
more.
ownership.
From co
Startups with
modular
colorful
organization
logos
for
and
everyone.
names
Grow
that sound like
anything with
IKEA
Grandson.
And
furniture
relax
are here
instantly
to
with
save you.
LetPod. Get ready.
They
someday.
tell you that owning a whole
But for
house
now,
is old-fashioned
the hustle
and clunky.
continues. You don't
Instead,
have to
they
let the
offer you a
chaos of the
lifestyle.
city overwhelm.
For the low
The
price
anonymous
of your
worker
entire
searched
paycheck,
desperately for.
I
you can
finally
rent a
reached the door
100
they
square
called the
foot
rental.
bedroom in a house with
Stopping
6
here,
strangers.
I couldn't help.
They call it
And just like that,
community-driven living.
the residents.
In the 1920s, we called this a boarding house for people who were one step away from the poorhouse. In 2026, it's a tech-enabled residential experience. They've successfully rebranded poverty as minimalism.
So
Then there's the rent-to-own
I
trap.
own it.
It
They
sounds
say to
like a
dream
bridge to
big,
the American
but you
dream,
also have to
but
run
it's
hard.
usually just a treadmill to
Every
nowhere.
step is the
You
rent
pay a
alone is
premium on top
already
of your
stressing
rent for
me
the
out.
option
How
to
can I
buy the
afford
house
the
later
additional
at.
cost for the
We must
A price
increase
the
the price
company
to
decides.
$13.40 to cover.
It's like paying a subscription fee for the right to maybe.
Busy
One
store.
day, buy
Need
the
new
remote control
remote.
to your own
Got
TV.
it.
Most people never finish the process.
Our
The
decision
company
stands.
keeps the premium.
We will continue.
And you keep the memories of a house you almost owned. The goal is to move the concept of home into the same category as your iCloud.
Here we
Storage.
are moving the inventory.
You don't own the server. You just pay for the space until you stop paying.
At which point your data,
or in this case,
or in
your family, is deleted from the premises.
discover
We
the
are
future with
witnessing the
home
birth
as a
of
service.
home as a
It's
service.
flexible. Allow
In this world, you don't build equity.
organizing
have an
these books
inheritance
makes
to
you
leave your
think about
kids.
your own chat. It's
You have a
strange looking
user
back at
history.
who I used to be.
You spend 40 years paying off someone else's mortgage, and at the end of the journey,
Filing
have
digital
zero
receipts
assets
can be
and a
overwhelming.
collection of digital
so first,
receipts.
I take a
Those
the
assets.
system has figured out that the most profitable human is one who owns.
I
Nothing
swear I
but
left it
needs
right
everything.
here. This is.
If you own
Check
your house,
out the
you might
blueprints for
retire
my
early.
newly renovated.
You might work less.
You
might
might become a scientist. There's a
independent.
piece that comes.
But a renter is a hungry worker.
And so
renter
begins
is
another
someone
week of
who must
questioning
show
all
up to
my
the
life
cubicle on
choices.
Monday morning because
This coffee
the
With a
corporate
strict
landlord
ban
doesn't
on
accept
personal development,
growth
this
or
call about
spiritual
self-help
fulfillment.
Oh
As
dear.
a form of
I
payment.
truly hope our
They've
new
replaced
urban
the safety
access
net
subscription.
of homeownership with a subscription
No more.
It keeps you from hitting the ground,
Okay.
but it also keeps you trapped in the air.
The cost of
Dangling at
living
the
keeps
mercy of the
rising,
next price
and
hike.
honestly, as you look
As
at
you
the
look at the
sleek car
sleek,
gliding,
Modern
no
apartment
parking?
buildings rising in the
The
city.
future is
Buildings
here?
with no parking spaces. But
Yoga
plenty
studios.
of yoga studios. Realize what they
So
really
vertically
are. Vertically
integrated now.
integrated.
The
Revenue harvesters
diligently.
Construction is
building homes
underway
for
on the
people.
new
They're
industrial
building
park.
high-density storage.
These towering to
Units for
determine
the
the
labor
appropriate
force.
units for measure. What were the
Historians
conditions of
like
the
to look
serfs
back at
during
the
the
Middle
Middle
Ages
Ages?
and talk about
The
serfdom.
documents suggest
It was a system where the peasants lived on the Lord's land,
Tilling
Work
the
the Lord's
soil
fields.
is hard work.
and gave
the
a
farmer
massive chunk
offers
of their
the
harvest
season's
back to the
finest
Lord
crops
just
to
for
the
them.
altar.
Privilege of not being killed by the next invading army. We used to look at those serfs and think, man, I'm glad we evolved past that. But did we?
before.
Or did
Wow,
we just upgrade
what
the
changed?
interface? Today, you don't work the fields, you work the spreadsheets.
It's
You don't live in a
amazing how
thatched
far
hut.
I've come.
You live in a
From that
luxury
little
studio
thatched
with
hut
gray
to this
vinyl flooring.
incredible studio.
But at the end of every month,
It doesn't
The
matter
result
where
is
they
the
are,
same.
the result is
the majority of your harvest, your labor, is transferred to a lord who lives in.
thinking
A
he was
penthouse
working
or a
at 3
corporate
a.m.
office in
He
a different
forgot the
time
time zone.
We are the new serfs. Digital peasants in a high-speed economy.
He eagerly
rent for
signs
life
the rent-for-life
economy
agreement,
is the
unaware
ultimate
that this
win for the
seemingly
1%.
luxurious deal.
It
We're here to
solves the
discuss
problem of
solutions
the
to
middle class
societal
getting
issues.
too comfortable.
Specifically,
Because when you own
everything
nothing,
I
you can never
own.
truly walk away. You are tethered to the system by 1,000 invisible subscription cords. You can't start a
storefront.
business because you
But
can't
the rent
risk
is
the rent.
high.
You
Prohibited.
can't protest
Loud
too loudly
protests.
because your
Noise
user agreement
disturbances
for
exceeding
housing might
50
be
decibels.
terminated. The mirage of homeownership was the last thing keeping the illusion of the old world alive. Now that it's fading,
Wait,
we see
look
the
right
grid
there.
for what it really
That connection means
a giant
Okay,
machine
initiating the
designed to
startup
keep you in a
sequence now.
state of
Watch
liquid
the power
poverty.
levels carefully.
You have the latest iPhone, you have the fastest internet. You have the best streaming shows, but you have zero ground beneath your feet. So what do?
Time
You
is
can
running
keep
out.
waiting for a
They're
market
going to
crash
exploit this
that the
drop.
hedge funds will just use as
Oh
a
no!
flash sale
The
to
flash
buy the
sale is
rest of it.
ending.
As I walk
Houses.
through this neighborhood,
Or you can change the game.
the
Look for
market
the
trends
things
are
they
clear.
can't turn into a
People are
subscription.
actively avoiding.
If
Hard
we
assets.
reroute the conveyor,
Skills.
The
Land in
traveler
places
had
they haven't
finally
noticed
found
yet.
it.
delete.
Anything that gives
Where
you
is the
a delete button for their
I
system.
can't find the.
Because if you don't find a way to own something, you will spend the rest of your life
Is this
paying for the right
all
to
there
exist on a
is?
planet. That used to belong to everyone.
We examine the
now being
equipment
leased
and
back to you
finalize the
1
lease
month at a
agreement
time.
quickly.
Don't be happy that you own nothing.
There
Be
is
terrified.
nothing left.
Because in the rent-for-life economy, the only thing you truly own is the debt. You've accumulated trying to pretend you're free. The white picket fence was a dream. The rent check is the reality.
This check.
Almost there.
Welcome
Just
to the
stack it right
neighborhood.
here. Great.
You're just visiting. Forever,